Happy New Year, Grace Kids, and welcome back to Grace Kids TV. My name is Mary Schaefer, and I am a volunteer here at Grace Church, and it is so good to be with you today. In today's story, we're going to continue where we left off before we jumped into learning about when Jesus was born. Today, we're going to learn about how God called and saved Moses. Have any of you ever been selected for a special job, like being a line leader at school or being captain of your sports team? Today we're going to learn about a man that God called to do something really special, but Moses kept making excuses or giving reasons why he thought that he couldn't do it. God saved Moses' life and called him to rescue God's people from slavery. The calling of Moses points to a greater calling and a greater rescue, the call of Jesus to come to earth and save God's people. Jesus gave up his life to save us from our slavery to sin. But before we get into today's story, let's head over to Grace Kids Trivia and see what you remember from last week's story about how God is in control of everything. Have fun.
Question 1, true or false? King Herod was the king that God had promised many years ago. The people were so excited that King Herod was finally going to be born. And the answer is false. This is definitely not true, and hopefully remembered that Jesus was the king that God promised to send many years before he was born. King Herod, however, was the king over the land of Judea, but he was a bad king. Question 2, true or false? Although King Herod was the king over the land of Judea, he was very happy that Jesus was finally going to be born. And the answer is false again. This is not true. King Herod asked the priests and scribes where this new king would be born. He was furious that they called this baby a new king, since he was the king of Judea after all. What King Herod did not realize was that this baby would be the king over everything, not just the small land of Judea. But King Herod was not happy about others calling baby Jesus a king. Question 3, true or false? The 3 wise men followed a star in the sky, which led them to baby Jesus in Bethlehem. And the answer is true. This is true. The wise men fell to their knees and worshiped Jesus. Then they gave Jesus gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. When it was time for the wise men to leave, God warned them in a dream not to tell Herod where Jesus was, so they took a different way home. Question 4, true or false? After the wise men left, an angel appeared to Jesus' earthly father Joseph and told him to take Jesus and Mary to Egypt and stay there because King Herod was looking for Jesus and wanted to hurt him. And the answer is true. This was true. And fortunately, God had an angel tell Joseph so they could all stay safe. So in the middle of the night, Joseph got up and took Mary and Jesus to Egypt, where they would be safe. Later, after King Herod died, the same thing happened, but this time an angel told Joseph to take Mary and Jesus to the land of Israel. So Joseph obeyed and took Mary and Jesus to Israel. And our final question of the day, question 5, true or false? The wise men came to worship Jesus as king. God promised to send a king who would be king forever. And the answer is true. This is definitely true. And Jesus is the king who will always be king. Jesus is the true king, and he deserves all of our worship.
Everyone, it's me, Megan, and I'm Jessie. Megan, look what I found. It's a rubber ducky, not just any other ducky. This is my special rubber ducky named Lars.
Oh, hello, Lars.
He can't talk, Megan. He's our other duck.
Oh, sorry.
Lars was lost, but I found him in the bathtub last night. He must have gotten mixed in with my little sister's bath toys.
Well, I'm really glad you found him, Jessie. In today's Bible story, an Egyptian woman found something when she went to take a bath.
What did she find?
A better question would be, who did she find? Let me tell you the story. Joseph's family had moved to Egypt. Years passed and Joseph, his brothers, and their families died, but their families kept growing. All the people from this family were called Israelites because they came from Joseph's father, Jacob, who was also called Israel. A new pharaoh or king took over Egypt. This pharaoh did not like the Israelites. He was afraid all the Israelites could fight him and win. So Pharaoh made the Israelites work very hard. He ordered the Egyptians to get rid of the Israelites' baby boys. Around this time, a woman had a baby boy. She hid him as long as she could. Then she put him in a basket and set the basket at the edge of the river. Soon, Pharaoh's daughter went to the river to take a bath. She found the baby, and she felt sorry for the baby. The princess wanted the baby to be her son, so she named the baby Moses. When Moses grew up, he left Egypt. Moses found a job as a shepherd taking care of sheep. Back in Egypt, the Israelites cried out to God for help. God heard their cries, and he planned to help them. One day, Moses saw a bush on fire, but the bush was not burning up. Suddenly, God called from the bush, "Moses, Moses." "Here I am," Moses said. God told Moses to take off his sandals. Then God said, My people are suffering. I want you to lead them out of Egypt to a good land I have for them." "What if they ask for your name? What should I tell them?" Moses asked. God said, "I am who I am. Tell them, I am has sent me to you." God warned that Moses' job would not be easy. Pharaoh would say no, but God promised that the Pharaoh would one day let God's people go. So Moses headed back to Egypt. God saved Moses' life so Moses could grow up and save God's people from the Egyptian Pharaoh. God planned for his son Jesus to save people in an even better way. God sent Jesus to earth, and Jesus gave up his life to save us from our sin.
Kids, I'm really excited for our craft today as it goes exactly with the story. And all that you're going to need is the printout of the tree, something to color with, some glue, and some little round pieces of tissue paper. And they should be red, yellow, and orange because they're going to look like a fire. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Are you ready? So first you're just going to color the tree. I'm going to use brown for the branches, but really you could color it any color that you would like. Next, I'm going to draw just a little bit of blue in the sky. All right, and then next you're going to take your tissue paper, and you can either just glue it on in the circles, or you can bunch it up a little bit and glue it on, which I'm gonna do. So you're gonna put glue on first, and you just wanna make it look like fire on the branches. And then your craft is done. And it says, the colors red, orange, and yellow remind us of the bush from our Bible story. God talked to Moses in a bush that was on fire, but not burning up. He wanted Moses to be the leader of his people. God told Moses it would not be easy, but the king of Egypt would let God's people go. I love making this craft, and I love how it reminds us of the story of when God was talking to Moses. I hope that you guys have fun making it. Thanks so much for watching Grace Kids TV. Have a good week.